Alright, so today I just thought I'd go ahead and try to help everybody out. I was trying to do S15 front end conversion. I know when I was doing it, it wasn't too much information out there. It was like 2 YouTube videos that I found helpful and one forum. So just wanted to kind of combine all of that and put it into one video. I'm just doing a little walk around of mine's in the working. It's not done yet. I got a lot of work to do, but you can see it coming together. So pretty much basically what you need for S15 front end conversion. You need a hood, which mine's is still in the mail. This is still the pop-up S13 hood. But you're gonna need the hood. You're gonna need S15 hood hinges, or some people say you can use S14. I'm not sure if that works or not. I'm gonna get S15 though. Of course, you need the headlights. You'll need a front bumper. Then you'll need these brackets right here. They normally come with the headlights. In my situation, I had a special case with my headlights. It didn't come with these, but you'll definitely need these. And then you'll need these brackets. I believe these are the S14 headlight brackets. It's pretty easy to get. It's part number just in case you guys want to get it. Outside of that, that's pretty much it as far as what you need. I mean, everything else is just a matter of how you put it together. So the S14 brackets are the first thing. They'll just bolt up completely, like there's no modification, just straight bolt on. The S15 headlights, and I got this taped off because of the hood for rain, but the headlights themselves, you're gonna have to cut that core support right, kind of like right in there, so that this piece can fit through there. Because if you try to put it, and if you try to mount them without cutting your core support, then this piece will bump into the wall, well, into the front of it, and you won't be able to successfully mount them. So you're gonna have to cut it to get that open. There was a ground wire back here. I just moved it over because you gotta cut where it is. So that was that. But first you'll install the brackets, then you'll cut the hole for the headlights, and then after you do that, you can go ahead, and if your headlight is all together, you can go ahead and mount them. Now this bolt right here is not a hole. I actually had to drill this in, and that's pretty much the only like drilling that you'll have to do for this swap, as far as the brackets. Now this is all up to your judgment. You're gonna have to basically hold and align it, and then when you find it suitable, that's when you go ahead and drill the hole, add the bolt that'll hold it. Another thing is this bolt is directly connected to the S15 headlight, and that just bolts up to stock mounting, stock hole. So those two bolts will hold it in. There is another piece that you can't really see because the bumper is in the way, but it is the S15 retainer. I don't know if it's a front bumper retainer or a headlight retainer, but it's a retainer. I'm not sure if this is the case with all of the S15 bumpers, but because I have this bumper, I had to cut a piece of it off. I'm actually gonna get that piece, but I had to cut a piece of it off in order to get my bumper mounted. Now I'm not sure if that was just my case or if that was the case for a lot of people, but this is actually the piece. It has the part number on it, and what it does is it basically connects the inside of this, goes around the headlights. This part was like right there, It'll go across, connect to the other side, go around the headlight, and then mount again. And it bolts up to the headlights, the fenders, and of course it'll bolt up to this bracket right here, and that's kind of what holds it in place. Now I had to cut this to get my bumper on, but some other people might not need to. So that's pretty much all you need to do to get the headlights on. As far as the fenders, that one is not on, it's just kind of zip tied on there for now. I gotta adjust the fitment on it. This one is on. Now there's a couple ways you can do this. I just got OEM S15 fenders, and then I cut and welded them with the S13 fenders because I prefer to have the metal. These welds are not that perfect, but you know, whatever, they'll be covered up by the Rocket Bunny kit. But once you cut and weld them, it's pretty much just making sure that they all fit, you know, according, that you can still open the door. I know that's like a big problem for people that go ahead and get the pre-converted fenders. I heard that the fiberglass S13.5 fenders kind of suck when it comes to fitment, like the door would always catch or something like that. So I just went OEM and decided to cut it myself, and if I have any problems I'll just cut it and weld it again. You will have to drill more holes. This was a hole that just luckily lined up, but I had to drill that hole, and then I'll have to drill another one in the back to put that in there because they're not going to line up. Same thing for this side, but this one doesn't have any drilled holes or anything because I'm adjusting the fitment on it, and that's why it's all the way off. It will come up a little bit more, but that's just the hood will come up a little bit more too, so if that's something that you're worried about, don't worry about it. But yeah, that's that. And once you get all that done, get a front bumper, you're pretty much set to go as far as the front end swap is. Now, for some reason, there's people saying that you can't do the front end swap without getting the S15 core support, and then just cutting this entire core support out and welding the S15 one, which would make it easier because then everything would just bolt in. But actually, from what I know, the core support on the S15 is weaker than the S14, so you'd be weakening your front end, and I didn't want to do that. Plus, it seems like a lot of unnecessary work when I can just bolt the brackets to it. So this is proof that it can be done without the core support, if anybody was wondering. Alright, so the next thing I was going to go over was cost. I took a couple notes here. So basically, a good set of headlights, I've seen them on eBay kind of ranging in between $500 to $700 for a pair, and they normally come with like the brackets and all the bulbs and stuff like that. Mine's was not the case. I know that you can get some on Nissan Auto Parts for $591, and you can also get some on FRS Sport for $774, and these are all without shipping. Mine's, I got them for $400 from a guy in Australia, but it came with a downside because when I got them, they didn't come with any of the bulbs and none of the brackets or the wiring harness. It was kind of just the headlight by itself. I only had this bulb in there, and finding the bulbs and the headlight harness like separately was extremely hard. Unless you're really determined, I wouldn't really recommend it. I just took it as an opportunity to take apart and build these headlights. As you can see, I tinted it, blacked it out, got the sequential turn signal, all that. The brackets, these brackets, the S14 brackets, they're pretty cheap. I kind of messed up with mine. I got that one from Amazon. It was like $32, but I realized I needed it at the last point, so I had paid like $40 to get it shipped and here within like 3 days. But then they only shipped one, so I had to get another one. And I got my other one from Nissan Auto Parts. They were like 16 bucks on there, 16 a piece. I also know that if you go on eBay, they're probably like $20 to the 23. And on FRS Sport, they're also $17 a piece. But for some reason, they have it as $64 for both. I'm not 100% sure why. Let's see, what else do I have on here? The retainer. Now, the retainer is pretty hard to get because the only website I know that has it is FRS Sport. And I got it. It was like 78 bucks on their website. With shipping, it came out to be like pretty much $100. It took forever to come. So what I would recommend with FRS Sport is call them to see if they have the parts in stock first. Because if it's on back order, you're going to be waiting a good month or so before you get that part in. And then after I got it, I realized I had to cut it. Kind of sucked. The bumper. Now, mine's is obviously a Rocket Bunny. This is an authentic Rocket Bunny S15 kit. Very hard to get, especially in the US. This bumper alone. You can, get whatever S15 front bumper you want, really. I know that on eBay, it's a lot of bumpers that range from $300 to $400. And on FRS Sport, they have one for $320. You can really just go wherever, Duraflex. I'm not sure about the fitment of those, but from what I know, you can, as long as they fit the headlights, it doesn't matter. It's up to your preference. What else? The fenders. Now, like I said, mine's is cut and welded from the actual S15 fenders. You can actually still see because I have to Bondo it and everything like that. But I got mine's from the same guy in Australia that gave me the headlights. So he pretty much gave me a deal on majority of my swap. But I do know that there are some fender conversions. Charge Speed, they offer a full conversion. They'll just sell you like everything that you need in order to make the front end swap. But it's like $3,000. I'm not sure if you guys want to go about doing that. So another thing on this list is the hinges, the S15 hood hinges, which, like I said, I don't have because my hood is still coming in the mail. The S15 hood hinges, I've seen some on eBay for $58. Nissan Auto Parts has them for $51, and I think FRS Sport has them for $64. So, you can kind of play around with those numbers. And if you guys do want to, end up getting some headlights and they don't have the brackets, I know Nissan Auto Parts has them for 43 bucks. And this other place called 21 Motorsports, they have them for $49. So that's kind of up to you, but that's these brackets right here. They bolt up to the headlight directly. Let's see, I think that's about it. Just back to the fenders for a second. I know the Duraflex has them for $180. This place called Nissan Race Shop, they have fenders for about 200 bucks a piece. Origin has the S13.5 fenders for $330. So those are the ones that's pre-converted. Use those at your own discretion. So just pretty clean breakdown of how to do this swap if anybody's wanting to know. And on top of that, just a couple side notes. If you do want to get the front, core support, the S15 core support and weld joints in, Nissan Auto Sports, they have it for $171, and FRS Sport has it for $178. It's also on eBay for $190, and that'll be just a replacement of this entire thing. That way you pretty much won't have to use any of the things I did because everything will just straight bolt up to it. Yeah, I think that's That's pretty much it. Charge speed, this is just with wiring for the headlights. There is a wiring diagram out there that shows you how to wire it up, but mines are obviously going to be different because that's not OEM wiring at all. But there is a wiring diagram out there. It's in Google Images, and I know Charge Speed, they do have a S13.5 wiring harness that is said to completely just plug and play with your S15 headlights. Not sure how that works. I wasn't really gonna get it because it's like $300 and it would be pointless for me to get, so just a little more knowledge or stuff for you to play around with. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything that you really need to know. It's only 2 other YouTube videos that were actually useful to me with this. One of them had a guy with like a blue 240. It was kind of useful. It shows the retainer without it being cut. And then it was another one with the garage. It was like a garage of people that did a conversion, but they didn't do it this way. They cut the front end of an S15 from like here all the way across, and then they just re-welded it all back on. So it kind of helped to give me an idea of what things look like, but it didn't really help that much. And the last thing that I used was this form. It is a form, a build thread. I think it's called like Yoshi's conversion. I'll probably drop the link in the description. But he does a pretty good job of letting you know how to go through this, some of the stuff that he bumped into, which pretty much everybody will bump into once they try to do this swap. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you found this video helpful, because I know there wasn't a lot of information out there when I was doing it, so I just tried to sum it all up in one video. Probably post the update on the car soon. Once I finish getting the fenders done, then I could complete the rest of the Rocket Bunny kit, and we'll just go from there. Now, as far as the bumper mounts, I'm not 100% sure how a regular S15 bumper would mount to the car, because this is obviously not a regular S15 bumper. I did notice that with the Rocket Bunny kit, there was some grooves to drill a hole here. Same thing on the other side, and those mounted up directly with the headlight bracket. So I just kind of drilled those holes and put a bolt there because they lined up perfectly. I'm probably gonna fabricate some type of bracket right here that'll mount up into the stock mounting points for the front bumper on the S13 to kind of pull this in, because it's just hanging out, and give it some support from the bottom as well. But as far as the regular bumpers, I'm not entirely sure how they mounted up.